forward this, and I'll be able to put this on YouTube for you to relook at in a
Great.
little while.
Great.
So, okay, let's go
Like
share.
his accounts aren't, they're fairly straightforward. Well, to a point, I suppose, but it's the basic stuff. Like, I mean, he gave me a whole lot of stuff there at the weekend. We'll say like receipts,
Yeah.
diesel receipts, but they're all cash receipts. They're all, he paid, well, not all of them, but he paid some of them with cash. So, like I was looking at your video there, the free one, and how to deal
Oh,
with
yeah.
all those, basically trying to bring it all together into the accounting system. All these little, if he paid for it himself or paid cash or stuff that anything like that, and bringing it all together. And as I say, recording stock, journals, bank charges, and then account to account transfer. If we'll say if he doesn't have enough in the, as I say, he has two bank accounts, €1, one sterling. But if he's low on funds in one, he'll transfer it to another, stuff like that. Account to account
Okay.
transfer.
Yeah, I'm just looking at his year in there, 31 October. So let me just see what we have. Am I able to look at that from? Okay, so this is the setup on what he has. First, okay, yeah, that's fine. So I'm just looking at his setup here. Okay, multi-currency. Right, that's grand.
I suppose one thing, we'll say when Meesum did supply the accounts at the end of the year, then, like Anthony was saying, well, how did he come up with that figure for debtors, or, and it's not that clear. Now, I'm hoping QuickBooks will sort of say, this is what he means by that. You know what I mean? Or where's all the background to it? The way you give it to him and he comes back with the final package. But he was saying as well, he'd love to be able to say, well, no, I don't agree with them there or whatever. You have to take them at their, you take them
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
on that.
Okay, I'm going to set up a little area for yourself first. As a group, we'll call it Mary. Okay, so some of those reports you're mentioning there. Okay, I'm going to show you where we'll keep them first of all, and I'll deal with your queries actually immediately, right at the start, and then I'll kind of get you going more or less on this. Just with any reports to do with what you're interested in, Mary, right? We'll always keep them under reports and custom.
Okay.
And there'll be anything in here, it's just got to do with you first of all, Mary, right? So I don't see the name Mary there, but don't worry about it. Okay. This is set up, but it's in custom. And so you mentioned debtors, for instance, and anything to do with debtors will be on this report here. Okay. Now I'll get rid of this test one in a minute. I was just playing around with it for a half hour before you come in. I was checking something out, but if the accountant has set it up, that's all right. And but I suppose your immediate questions are, can we upload the Excels? The only thing you can upload on the Excels are balances. It won't allow you to upload every transaction, like every purchase invoice or every sales invoice.
Okay.
You'd have to enter them in again. Okay. Let me just see where we are on customer names though. So I've gone into sales and customers here, and there's that's the total of what's in there. Those 13.
Okay.
Okay, so he's probably entered these sales himself in the last. I'll just pick on one of them offhand.
Yeah.
That's only the last guy. Look for
And
that
he
one.
wouldn't have picked them up from, we'll say the bank. When you talk about the bank there in your other video, that they I'll say some of those names now. There's one of them very familiar down. What's the name of it? It's down further. We'll say Riley Sealing. Now I saw it. Our Superior Insulation is a kind of a company he deals with the whole time. But what I'm wondering is that you'll see that on a bank statement regularly. But does that we'll say if I've got invoice, like we'll say, did he set that up or did that come in through the bank?
He set that one up, definitely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. He might have seen the name in the bank and it said, who is this customer? I'm just looking here.
Okay, I get you.
This is I'm just looking at who did stuff. Okay. So I'll go back a bit. See, that's probably the last month. You can kind of see in this audit log, which I go into to this thing up here. And then the word audit log, so you can see who's done stuff.
Okay.
and that's only for this month. So I'll just go back. I'll go back a little bit. So we can actually, yeah, I was doing stuff there with the VAT. I'll come to that in a while. Just jump back here. So
Oh, I
Anthony
see.
himself seems to have done most of the setup there.
Yeah, I didn't. It's only now. I didn't like to touch it until I kind of got a bit of training on it for free. You know the
Yeah,
way.
just go back.
Um.
Yeah, so he entered in manually, updated this. Yeah, so he's put in those customer names and addresses. He either
Okay.
typed them in or he was going to send them an invoice in the first place. So it looks like he sent them invoices. Yeah,
Okay.
that's how he set them up. This test one here, I'll delete that in case I forget it. Okay, like something that might happen. I'm just checking on the VAT, the way the VAT is set up. It's okay, let's get rid of that guy. Yeah. Okay.
And you can do that. You can delete transactions as you go. You know, say if you did see something that was entered twice,
Yeah,
rather
you can
than.
delete.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem deleting them, but you can't restore them automatic. So it's not like it's not like an email that you delete it, but you can put it back in again. Once it's deleted, it's gone. So you'd have to re-enter it again. You'd have to manually get typing.
Okay.
So, but even to know that would save you a
Yeah.
lot of
True.
items. So,
Yeah.
so he's entered those, and what happens with the bank? I won't digress too much. Is we'll tell the bank if you see the word McCann, put it against any McCann sales invoices. That's
Okay.
how that would work it out. So I'll just click on dashboard here. Whenever you get lost, click this dashboard. I'm going to go into the current account for a second. There's McCann actually there, right? Funnily
Okay.
enough. And this is the waiting room. You see here, bank register. See, all these are for review. It's just like
Okay.
being in the waiting room and it doesn't know where to put them really. It's taking a guess at it.
All right. Okay.
So funny enough, it's put that one into sales. But there's more. I see the sales invoices there. And let's pick this one. Where that needs to go actually is against accounts receivable because the sales invoice is waiting to be paid off by it. Then here, see what they're calling it. Okay, I'll just test this one out. Different name in it. Deshers, we see Deshers. Yeah. In sterling. So probably that one. It shouldn't need that, but it might ask me for sure this is here. Yeah. Let's see what it finds. The payment was that. I wonder what all these come to. We see 1, 2, 3. No, this comes to more. Okay. There's more money coming in at the moment
Okay.
than that payment will cover. So I won't tick that off yet because it's attempting to match this money against bills we've sent out.
Okay.
It's done, and there's something missing there. And this, what comes into your Excels actually, there's probably a prior sale that this is coming in for.
Oh, I see. Yes. Yeah.
All right.
That could easily be.
So, I, but I suppose just to come, I'll just come away from here for a second. Just talk to you directly. So his year end is only 31 October. Are you going back for all 2020 and a bit of 19, is it?
Yeah. You have to start. Yeah. Bring. I suppose. Yeah. That's exactly right. It has to. What we'd like is for the whole of, yeah, the end of 19 and 20 to go into QuickBooks.
To go into QuickBooks, all right. So, and have you them already on Excel?
I was only getting them ready the last few days, and I wasn't sure of which way I should do it. In that, like, will say, right, I was looking at all, say yesterday, I was looking at all the inward payments. Like, do you break it down per month, or then do you break it down per sales invoice and we'll say all the income and then maybe all the outgoing separately, or what's the best way to approach it so that we've kind of a methodical way of doing it, and also that if we say no, that's not right, the easiest way to get back and make corrections, or say no, that so
Okay.
I didn't I haven't yeah, as I said, started looking at the sales invoices, but wasn't sure which format should we do it in. Should we do it per month, or should we do it, take all your income and then do all your expenses, or what's the best way to kind of upload all the previous stuff?
Yeah. Okay. So the best way, I'll tell you now, for phase one for you, okay, back to Etiquette again, is to enter all the sales invoices for the
Okay.
year. So you're talking November 19 month, based on the date they happened up to now. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
That's the first thing. And
Right.
looking at the screen here, Mary. So the way you do that is you just click on the plus sign, you click on invoice. Okay. And if the customer is there, let's say Superior Installation is a popular one. You tick on his name and just watch the invoice date that you're putting it in at the same date it was sent over to them. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So the shortcut is to click on here and you'll go back and find the date.
Okay.
Okay. And the way he's doing the sales at the moment is simple enough at the moment. There will be a better way when you get used to it, but we'll go with what everyone's using. It's just to click on the word sales and write in what was sold.
Okay.
If you, this little guy up on the left will show you recent invoices. So I'll just pick one of them for the crack. Go away from that guy for a second. So he's clicking sales and it says what he's doing.
Okay.
I mean, you can always, if that's common sale, you can always copy that to a WordPerfect page and just copy and paste in what was sold. Okay. The VAT is one to watch, funnily enough. That's why I was on about. So it's a UK company selling into Ireland, and if he's selling into England, I wonder, is there VAT on an English sale? Let me just pick an English one. Okay, I'll pick this guy. Oh no, they're all euros, aren't they? Yeah, they're all euros.
That's the thing I have to watch out for then as well.
It is, yeah.
Between whether it's a euro invoice or an English one.
Yeah. So if it's an English one, there's going to be VAT in it. You see there, like this guy.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not an expert in English VAT, but it's pretty much the same as here. So if you're selling in sterling, just check there's VAT on it, which there is, and it's 20%. The rates are different. It's 20% nearly all the time. Okay.
Okay.
And so that one is a good example now. It's McCann guy, funny enough, it's him again. And also keep an eye that it's on this part here. So inclusive of VAT, the figure is 3192. Exclusive of VAT, the total is still 3192, right? But it's broken out. If you look up the top here, these figures here are including the VAT amount at the moment. Okay. So that plus that is 3192. But if I click exclusive of that, they change. So 2520 and the 20% VAT amount in each of those brings it up to 3192.
Okay.
So that's just so just keep an eye on your total, that the total here at the end is what it is on your Excel or on the book you're working out of. Okay.
And just in relation to that then, we'll say, right, okay, as I said, there are invoices in sterling and in euro. Should I do all the euro first, as in for the year? You know, we'll say, because if you're, you know, just to avoid any, we'll say, okay, they all feed into the one set of accounts.
Yeah.
And all the euro amount, I presume, have to translate into sterling eventually. Do you know what I'm saying? That, like, we'll say, if he's dealing with an Irish customer, the customer gets the invoice in euros. So then we'll say, when I'm doing when I'm entering all the sales invoices, would it be a case that I would, you know, we'll say
the euros first? You can. It's
or does it matter?
It doesn't really matter, but from your point of view, at least you're not juggling between two different currencies. And what you'll be watching there is, okay, so down here, if the customer is in Ireland, it'll change it to euro. Okay, so this Riley Sealing and Drywall, if I click on them, just look at an example. It's open up. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, Riley.
All right. Oh, there's
He's already
Blowick.
down as a euro
Ah,
customer,
yeah.
and it turns
Oh, I
it.
see.
So
Okay.
now what your brother is doing at the moment, and I'm going to reduce this down. He only had 3 VAT rates there. He had 0, exempt, and 20.
Mm.
Now, funnily enough, it's kind of, I'll leave it like that. And I'm
Okay.
saying this on the record. What it's meant to be in is actually this one, European Community Goods. Okay. Because on the UK VAT return, you're meant to disclose separately what you're exporting.
Yeah.
Now he's using exempt because I know he said, well, there is no VAT in it. But it's a funny system. If you're meant to account for that, there would be VAT in it, except for we're exporting it, and that's what that rate is there.
Okay.
So anything that you're selling into the Eurozone, it won't have VAT on it, but it should be using this VAT rate.
Okay.
Okay. And let me see what
And
date I have.
Ireland is the Eurozone.
It is, yeah, and it's also EU with the UK at this time, you know.
Okay. And so it should be a 0% ECG. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you what it does, right? I'm going to write test here. I know it's a variety. I'll be deleting this in a second. Just in case your brother is looking at this. We'll say it's €1,000. So exempt is like insurance or bank charges. They're exempt. Certain goods are exempt.
Okay.
We're ECG now. His English accountant will maneuver, but the less the English accountant has to do, the less he'll charge.
Yeah.
I'm going to save that. Okay. And over on the reports, standard. I'm going to pick a VAT report that's relevant for today. Where's it gone? Here it is. This one. Just change it to today. So we're just looking at what I just did. Yeah, you see this box 8 here?
Yeah.
Net value of supplies to other EC member states.
Oh, yeah.
It needs to be showing up on that over in the UK.
Oh, great.
They're probably already filling it out correctly over there anyway.
I remember it came up last year, like that, you know, the end of the year you had to do a report of all your sales, all right, to other EU countries.
Yeah.
But to quite honest, if you can do it as you go along with each invoice, it's much handier than
10
trying to.
times handier. Yeah. So that's the rate to use. So that's an important one for you now. So when you're entering your euro bills, click on the ECG.
Okay,
Now
brilliant.
I'm going to go into the taxes here now. I was looking at this before I came on. I was on it like half an hour there. So I'm just going to get rid of the ones that you don't need. So there's the ECG. Let me see, will it take the 20% one? Actually, I'm just going to double check. That's an additional one there. Still ECG, but yeah, no, it won't. No, okay. Must be for purchases. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, okay. So, where does he buy the insulation?
He buys it. I think he buys it from Poland, or he brings it in from another country entirely.
Okay.
As far as I know, he brings it like it's not straightforward. Yeah, he buys it. What's the name of that company now? I know I've come across it. I'm not sure now to quite honest yet, but I know it does come in from another company. As far as I know, it used to be Poland. Now he could have changed because they do change supplier, or he does change suppliers depending on rates of, what they charge and all that.
Yeah, fair enough. So I suppose one of the things you need to do is change this exempt from VAT to ECG on what he's already done.
Okay.
It won't change the amounts or anything. It'll change the classification.
Oh, great.
Okay, so that's another thing you have to do. Yes, so exempt to ECG. So, but the amounts won't change, so there'll be no noticeable difference. But it will change on that VAT form.
Oh, great.
And let me just get rid of these other ones now. Just it should be, there's a reverse charge thing it should be doing, but the UK accountant will know about that.
Yeah.
Just get rid of them. Okay. So that's your 20% VAT, 0% VAT. Exempt as if it's insurance is exempt. over there, or
Okay.
bank charges. And this is the one that you'll be doing on your sales, ECG. Okay.
Okay.
Start with your Euro sales, then start with your UK sales.
Okay.
Okay, that's the first thing. And then the next thing I would do, if I was you, is let's click dashboard again. It would be, what you'll find is as you're entering them in these bank accounts, it may attempt to match up some of those sales invoices with money that you've been paid for. Okay.
Mm.
So if it does do that, I'm just going to click into the sterling one here. You'll see the word match appear beside these. Now the likes of this McCann guy, we don't want it in sales. We want it in debtors. But there'll be a sales invoice waiting for it. Okay. McCann is the UK, isn't he? Yeah. So I'm just gonna, let me just see will that save like that.
So when you're setting them up initially, they all go in as debtors. I suppose that makes sense.
Well, initially what would happen is you'd be doing out the sales invoices, and when the money comes in, it would automatically put it against debtors.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because there's a debtor waiting for the money, you know.
Okay.
But the moment we don't have enough of those guys in from McCann here,
Okay.
so I'm just going to tell the bank here to put it into debtors. Supplier is F. Yeah, there's FP McCann. Okay, I could click fight, and it's not going to match up yet. I just want to see will this create a rule. Let me just see a look at that a second. Well, McCann. Money in, yeah. Okay. Now there's no VAT on this type of one. Okay. So what that's going to do is it's going to put all McCann stuff into debtors at the moment, right?
Okay.
Now you've got to put the sales in there to meet the money. Otherwise, someone's giving you money and we don't know why, you know. So I'm going to click on customers. I'm just showing you this. You don't need to worry too much about it. I'm going to go into McCann. There is a good few bills gone through them, but that 11453, I put it in here, but it's not allocated against any particular invoice yet.
And actually, on that, we'll say sometimes I remember last year now there was lots of balancing to be done where somebody might own 12,000 and they might agree to settle on 11,500.
Okay.
You know, that kind of stuff goes on.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you deal with that.
Yeah, I'll show you how to handle that now. I'm just going to glance. I'm just glancing here to see do any of these match up exactly. 3, 4. That's an okay. Okay, there's a sale there now, funnily enough. He's that one in as a sales receipt, which means, let me just see what he did with the money. The money arrived simultaneously. Yeah, he is that depositing directly into the bank account there.
Okay.
You just come away here a second again. Have a look at that. There's, and it's in here as well. That's the same money. You see those two?
Okay.
So I'm not sure offhand. I won't tamper with it. Should that be a sales invoice, or was he paid twice there? That you'll only know that when you get stuck into the bank.
Okay.
But if that was a sales invoice, this money is paying it, and one would offset the other. You know.
Okay.
So, but I expect you may find that's a minus there now. Oh yeah, it's a minus, bringing down the amount owing. Yeah. But you see, anyway, for the moment, the 11453. Let's just say there's a few quid knocked off. I'm going to set a thing up for you here. Call it a discount, right?
Okay.
DISCO. If you find, it'll probably be towards the end. It'll be a service, yeah. Discount at time of payment. Okay. And actually, it could be any VAT rate depending on what you're at, right?
Okay.
So I'll put it on the ECG, but if you're dealing in the UK, you'll be changing that to the standard rate over there. So, and just watch this next bit, kind of important. If there's a discount, we'll save 100 quid. just change the top here to inclusive. Okay, because we want 100 off the bottom line, not 100 exclusive of that, or you don't want to get into the VAT. And you just put in -100. That drops the bottom line by the 100. So if
Okay.
this guy said we knock off 100 quid, I pay you today. Okay, so his bill was 1680. You just click on the word discount over there. It'll autofill a lot of this in, and just
Okay.
put a minus beside into your invoice, and at least then it's fully paid off. Okay.
Oh, okay. And
All right.
you say it's the VAT inclusive figure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether there's VAT or not, just make sure you have
Oh,
inclusive
okay.
tax there. Otherwise, it might throw it out with the VAT amount. It will throw it
Oh,
out,
I get
definitely.
you. I get you.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
So that's your first task anyway, Mary, is get the
Okay.
sales in.
Yeah.
Okay. And it'll dictate to you when you're adding customers, whether it's euro or not. I'll
Oh,
just
brilliant.
add a new customer here. It's got to
That's
do
great.
with the location.
Okay.
Okay. And normally anyway. So we were adding payment and billing. See. Yeah. This customer pays you with sterling or euro.
Oh,
So if
brilliant.
you're adding up a new one, so I'm in customer info here, and so say the name was myself, right? You'll type in Kevin Barry. It's never heard of me. It'll bring up this, okay, and just choose the currency. But with you, I'd say it's always going to be one of those two anyway. So
Okay.
you're getting plenty here
Right.
now.
So you can, and you set up that up kind of when you're setting up the customer initially, and which
Yeah.
is great. So and it automatically knows after that.
It
Brilliant.
does. It'll follow us. Yeah.
Great. Great.
And if you find that the amount that you were paid in euro was different to what was on the invoice, just some bank chargey thing, just adjust. I'll just show you how to handle that again. I'll bring up one of these invoices here. Yeah, it's easy euro, yeah. So say we bill this guy 1,300 euro, and some reason for the transfer from the UK. I'm just thinking of the type of stuff that comes up. If you ever need, say it's a few pence of a difference, bank charges, just go into inclusive of that, unless you're going to chase them for the difference on payback. And say it was 1,305 that came in, just change it here to 1,305. You always go to inclusive of VAT at the top, even if there's no VAT.
Okay.
Now the correct VAT rate there is ECG, so I'm just going to change that here now. Give you a bit of a head start. Yeah, it works out the sterling equivalent based on the rate it used. This is a euro one, yeah. That's the rate it used at the time up there. So don't get too hung up in the exchange rates.
Okay.
Okay, get your sales in. That's your job number one. I've written it here. And just make sure the Irish guys have this VAT rate and the UK guys have the standard VAT rate.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if there's a different VAT rate, just have a look at what he'd charge them.
Okay.
I'm not sure what's the difference there with contractors if he's working for a contractor. Is it householders or builders he deals with, or who?
I'd say builders a lot of the time.
Yeah, here now, if you're dealing with a builder, funny enough, you don't charge them VAT either. And I don't know, is it like that over there?
If they have, is that the case where if they can supply you with a VAT registered invoice and all of that, that it's what do they call that transaction?
Reverse charge, yeah.
Oh yeah.
RCT.
Okay.
Relevant contract tax. So.
Okay.
But anyway, listen, you've got a good bit there. So that's the first thing is enter the sales.
Okay.
And you're going to find that the bank account will attempt to match them. I showed you what McCann could do there. So it's stopped here. But don't worry about matching them up at the bank too quickly. Just get the sales in first, and it'll attempt to match them itself in phase 2. The second point then is you mentioned to me over journals.
Well, actually, I will say because I noticed there that he bought a machine or he bought something, and now it was 14,000, but it's gone in as an expense. No, it's
right.
It's a good while ago since, but I just see there on the actual bank statement, and it just says expense, but it should be like it was some sort of, I don't know what he bought, but anyway, it's definitely not an expense. It's an asset of some description. There it is.
That's it there, is it?
Yeah, see that 14,500. and see
Okay.
and as an expense.
Yeah. Well, you think now for a second. But once it's in QuickBooks, you can do a lot with it. So
Okay.
I'll talk on the record about journals. Journals are fine for accountants to be at if they're kind of recategorizing items. They're not really for you to be at or for
Okay.
Anthony, because they're kind of shortcuts in accounting that suit accountants. That's what they are. You know, they make things fit.
Yes.
But all we've got to do is click on that 14,000. I'm looking at it here now. Riley C. Graso equipment purchase. Okay. And if you click on category, and I'll actually make a point of, there's a thing called, like, think of a map, a guy at sea, the chart of accounts. It's a map of the account. We want to do exactly what you said there, is put it into the fixed assets. Tangible assets, another term for them. Let's just see, is that a tractor, that one, you think, is it?
I couldn't tell you what it is exactly. I know you said it to me, but it's oh God, I don't know.
Well, I see here plant and machinery anyway.
Okay.
And it's saying sterling. This is euro, is it?
Let's see now.
Am I in the euro? Can we just come out here a second? Oh, yeah, it's euro up there. That's what I noticed. Foreign exchange. Before I move it, I might just ask you about the second account here. So that's a bank account. Forex account, is that another type of bank account?
I couldn't tell you. Like, it's only this year now that saw that Forex coming up, because up until now it was where he had two bank accounts. They were both just, you know, one was marked sterling, one was marked euro. But unless he changed that, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm presuming he did at this stage, you know.
Yeah, that must be it. It must be the same bank, but the euro account, foreign exchange. Yeah. So let me just go back into expenses again.
That'd make sense now that you mention it.
Okay, so I see it's here in sterling as well. So it's Riley Ceilings Limited, is it? Okay, just now, if this is wrong, you'll fix the name again. Just put it into the right name again, right? Okay. I'm going to show you a couple of important things here at the moment. All we're looking at here is the 14,500 went out of the bank account. Okay, so we just pick euro. Okay, I'm just looking around now to make sure I'm still on the right track. I am, yeah. That category means nothing, so I'm going to put into plant and machinery. Okay, let me just see what happens here now. Yeah, that's fine. Is that over in England, that piece of machinery? It is.
It is, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put it into here as a European community purchase.
Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah. Sorry, now I'm saying oh yeah without explaining it. Actually, I'll tell you what will go on here now. Let's save that for a second. But you see this down here? You see on, yeah. Save. Okay, I'm just going to go back into the VAT rates. That's doing what's called reverse charge there now. And I need to open up another VAT rate for you. Okay, so if he had bought that in England, they would have charged them over there 20% VAT. Because he imported it and had a VAT number from the UK, there's no VAT charge here. The UK VAT man wants to know if there was VAT, what would he have got, you know? So it's called reverse charge. I'm just going to free up that one. I actually looked at it earlier and I said it must be to do with purchases. Where is it here now? It's this one, EC Good Standard, okay? Just turn that on there, okay? So if he's buying goods in Europe, they're charging him 0%, but if he bought the same goods in the UK, you use ECG. Okay. Now, if you get mixed up in it, we'll remind you every now and again. All right. And the UK accountant to be looking out for it anyway. So, but at least at least you've heard it what it is. So VAT is a little bit tricky. I can't edit these descriptions here. This on the Irish version, they're a bit more descriptive.
Okay.
So you kind of have to note that one. So if he's buying goods outside the UK without VAT, use ECG 20%. Okay.
Okay.
If he's selling goods into Ireland without VAT, use ECG 0%.
So selling
It
into
won't.
Ireland without VAT, use
Yeah.
ECG. Okay.
I'm just going back to that 14,000 again now. Here it is. I'm going to put the right VAT rate on it. So here we were. I left it at the 0%, but actually I'm going down now to this one. So it's worked out the VAT here, okay? Like if
Okay.
that was bought in England, there'd have been 2,900 VAT on it. And it's just a weird thing. I'm going to save that. So it's a weird thing with the VAT return. If you're buying everything in from outside, they want you to add in the VAT you would have paid and then knock it off. It goes on the T1 and T2. And I'll
Oh,
just
yeah.
show you. I'll just have a look at one of these reports again. VAT 100 again. I forgot the date on that now, but I'll find it. You just go all dates for a minute, just to. Yeah, so clicking here. So there's that piece of equipment, Riley ceilings. Now remember, there was no VAT in it, but if there had been, it would have been that amount in sterling, all right?
Okay.
2611. Just keep that number in your head for a second. And go up here to the VAT on sales. And I would have expected to find it there. I don't see it there. Riley ceilings. Just go back again. Oh yes. Sorry, it'd be down here. Sorry, yeah.
2844.
2611, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so what's done there is added the VAT onto his bill and taken it off his bill.
Okay.
Now there's a zero effect, but the VAT man wants to see that. Okay. So don't get too hung up on that yet. Just all you've got to remember is that if he's in England and he's buying goods outside of England, buying goods, it's
Okay.
ECG 20%.
Okay.
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 That's it. And if he's selling goods, it's ECG 0%. It won't allow him to do the 20%. I would have thought the two of them would have been there, but it doesn't allow the same one on the sale.
Okay.
But your second task is to enter bills.
Yes.
And
yeah.
so I was.
We'll say I have a whole stack of little receipts here going back over the year. Diesel, everything's in them.
Yeah.
You know, that don't seem to have gone in anywhere. So yeah, so that's a good
Okay.
one. Yeah, how you deal with all of those.
Yeah. Now, how you all deal with them? Now I deal with them a bit different down here. I'll say that it's something for you maybe another day. Have you a scanner there, Mary?
I have, but it's not. I've only changed over. I have, but I don't have it working at the moment. You know, but I do have one. It's my printer is. It's. I have to get it sorted today, actually now. But
Okay. Well, probably the way for you to do it for now. Okay. Let me just go to the top here. He's a list of supplier. He's got one supplier in at the moment. So
okay. Oh yeah, I've seen that guy. Actually, I've seen loads of stuff come in for that company. Now that's only a new company that he's obviously dealing with at the moment. But
okay.
some of the payment, like most of them now are coming through the bank. Though that's particular supplier. You know, it's all.
Just tell me one of those petrol receipts you have there, or diesel.
Well, I can give you any. Yeah, okay. So we'll say there's one here now. It's a cash one. It's let's see now. I just give you a cash one. Oh yeah, this is for Casey's Landis in Castlebar, and it's for diesel, and it's for we'll say €20 diesel.
Okay. Now, when he's buying, that's in Castlebar, so that's euro.
Mm.
When he's buying things like diesel like that, he can't get the VAT back on it because he's not going to show them anything, you know.
Oh
So,
right, okay.
So just to be aware, there's non-reclaimable VAT there in that case.
Okay.
The only way, I'm not sure, can you do something with DCI? If you're commercial, you probably can. You know, these card crowd.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe when you have a minute, the ship has sailed on that one there now, on those
Okay.
receipts. Okay.
Even if I had a receipt, even if you have the receipts.
Well, we can still put the receipt in, we just can't claim the VAT on them.
All right. Okay. I didn't realize that. I thought once you had a receipt at all.
Yeah,
for
you need to.
something.
Yeah, the only way he'll get the VAT back on them, and I've never really seen it done successfully, is you more or less put them all together, send them into the Castlebar VAT office and ask them to send you the money back and give his UK VAT number. By the time they check with his local VAT office over in England, I've never got the money back.
I
I've given
know,
up on that approach,
yeah,
right?
I'd say that, yeah. I can
So
imagine.
the DCI card would be the way.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how they do it. They probably charge him the full amount of diesel and then they credit back on his DCI account. Okay.
Okay.
So
And
that's one.
DCI, what does DCI stand for? I never heard of that.
It's outside all the petrol stations. It's like a commercial card for
Okay.
getting discounts on diesel and petrol if you're a big buyer.
Okay.
So there's some way of doing it anyway. I
Okay.
haven't had to look into it for a while, but
Hmm.
so
Alright.
that 20 quid of diesel that you mentioned there, it's going to cost them 20 quid here, right?
Okay.
We can't claim the VAT back, so we'll be using the no VAT
Okay.
code on those. So Casey Lundus, so on that one you have there, Casey Lundus, right? What date was it?
Date is the 18th of the 9th, 2020.
18th of the 9th.
September, yeah.
So I put that here into bill date. Diesel, let's see, do I have that here? See, has he got fuel? Remind me to go to the chart of accounts in a second. Motor. No, I'll put in diesel, it'll be no harm anyway. I have it in there, EIESEL. So I'm going to be showing you this chart of accounts and what it does in a second now. Travel. Okay, now if it's UK VAT, you can claim it. If it's Irish,
Right, okay.
no good. That's right, diesel there. 20 euros, you said, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so 20 euros euro, and it's working out what it's probably on his account's going to be there. Now on the actual piece of paper, if you buy over there,
I have.
write number 1 actually
Oh,
on
okay.
the receipt.
All right, okay. Okay.
Okay, and look here on the screen. In this thing, bill number, I'm going to write number 1 there.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll save that. Okay, and I'll show you now. A couple of things. That was 19th of September. So I'll just go into reports again for a second. Profit and loss. I'm going to go back to September. Around the 19th. I should go back as far as the 19th of September and run that. Okay, so there's diesel. These are in UK and sterling. So if you're looking at accounts on QuickBooks, you have a big figure like this one here, purchases, I have diesel. If Anthony said diesel, I didn't buy diesel. Okay, and we're looking at this. Well, all you have to do is, and he can do, you can click into it and then list down all the bills.
All right.
And see here, it's number 1.
Yeah.
So don't bother your head putting all those purchase invoices into date order. QuickBooks will do that for you.
Oh,
But if you one by one on your file there, the first one you enter on QuickBooks, write 1, put it in.
all right.
And then pick up any random one, put that in,
that's-
write number 2 on it. And effectively this will relate directly back to the file. So
that's a great
sequentially,
idea. Yeah.
you will have all the receipts there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this will tell you which one to go to. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
And that's how you file them.
Okay. That's a
All
great
right.
idea, actually. Saves a lot of.
It saves a lot. So don't
Oh,
bother
yeah.
putting them into months. Don't bother putting them into QuickBooks. Will do all that. It'll put the months together for the VAT returns and for the different reports. And you just have to keep an eye on making sure in that bill place you mention 1, 2, 3. Just keep going up to infinity from now on.
Okay. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Right?
It's great
Um,
actually to be able to say, yeah, no, I don't remember buying diesel or I don't remember that transaction, and it automatically brings it up in the background, which is
it
great idea.
does, yeah.
Yeah.
Now in time, you might notice this on that video you watched. If you're into scanning, you can scan and just leave it there, and we just click it. We have it actually here on the screen. You don't have to go routing for a file. Okay,
All right.
but that's one for you. When you get this up to date,
Yeah.
these labor savers are fantastic, but
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I love
we'll
it.
get you going in the meantime. So
Yeah, great. That's
so
very good.
one like you only just kind of set up in a few days, and but for now, just do the way I've told you because I did that for years.
Okay.
It's completely the right way to do it, and don't let anyone shake you from that.
Okay.
We're all into the easier way, the simple way, right? So the next invoice, no matter who it is you pick up, is number 2, and it can be into anything.
Okay,
Okay.
brilliant.
I'll just show you this chart of accounts here. So remember, I was all about the map of the business. Okay, so it's called chart of accounts. It's in accounting, chart of accounts. So it's just a kind of a list of everything to do with this company, Ethicote, yeah. So we had the machinery, that's the sterling value of that piece of machinery we looked at earlier.
Okay.
Okay, and if, for instance, if I click here on account history, it'll bring up that Riley Sealing things we just dealt with. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
A moment ago. Yeah. You just had a look, if I want to have a look at it again, I just click edit. Now, this, by the way, has no invoice. This was just taken out of the bank account
Yeah.
at the moment. So when you come across the invoice for it, mark in the number there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it might be, you might just come across it later on, it might be 453.
Okay.
So at least when we look at this, say, what the hell did we buy off them? You go to your file and it's the 453rd bill in that list in
Okay.
there. Okay.
And can you scan that in if I find it? We'll say if I found the
Yeah.
invoice.
You scan it in, just drag it there.
Oh, great.
Or else, let me see, if you click here, you can go find it on your computer.
Oh, I
You know?
see. I just
Yeah.
set up a folder on my own PC for
Yeah.
the scanned items or whatever. And
Exactly. Yeah.
great.
Okay. So
Oh,
these
that's
are,
brilliant. Yeah.
and it saves a lot of routing, especially if you're not at home and you're looking at this. You
Yeah.
don't have to say, I'll have to go home and dig out that invoice,
I
So,
know. Yeah. Oh, that's
so
brilliant.
and so you saw the way I added in diesel that time. So if there's items coming up all the time, I go to the chart of accounts again. So this has your assets, your liabilities, your sales, and your expenses.
Okay.
All right. Have you an accounting background, Mary?
I
I'd
did
say
the
you have.
accounting. I just finished the accounting technician course there in June or May or June. June was it this year? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
I mean, I'm hoping I work for the public service at the moment, but I'm finishing there in a year or two, and then I'm hoping to do part time. A bit of work maybe
Yeah.
in accountancy, and
Okay. Well, you're familiar with these terms, so yeah.
yeah.
Um, well, there's the 20 quid now in creditors that we just put through for diesel.
Okay.
And I know you said it was paid by cash. I'll show you how to deal with that in a second. But everything to do with the business is in this. Now, I actually, we look at type. You see current liabilities. If something's an asset, like an asset is something, is a piece of equipment, generally equipment, or something that's good for the business that is going to make you money. So for instance, it'll be equipment, it'll be money in your bank, it'll be money owed back to you, stock. Those are good things. Money we owe other people's, our liabilities are not good for us, all right? So we might owe tax, we might owe a loan, we might owe employees, we might owe creditors for equipment. So they're taking money out here. So they're always in the liability side.
Okay.
But on the profit and loss then, so assets and liabilities will show up in the balance sheet. And in the profit and loss, it's sales and expenses. And that's like the ocean tide. It's over a longer period, generally a year, January to December. Money that comes in is a sale. Money that goes out is expenses. Okay, so the money going out though in the profit and loss is money that's dead and gone. So when he buys that tractor or whatever he bought that time, it's going to be there for a while. So that's an asset. But if he's paying wages or making a telephone call or buying diesel, it's gone in a flash.
Yeah.
All that stuff that's gone in a flash is in the profit and loss. Okay.
Okay.
So if you get confused, try and just remember the ocean tide and the profit and loss. It comes and it goes. Okay.
Okay. Good way of explaining.
So that's your analogy. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing I meant to ask you about then is, he does account to account transfers. We'll say if he has, as I say, if he's low on cash in one account and he knows he's something to pay, um, like, he might take it out of the euro one and put in and vice versa.
Yeah,
How do you deal with those then?
yeah. I'll show you that. I just want to finish one last
All
thing
right, sorry, yeah,
to
okay.
keep you on track. No, it's okay. I was looking at my list here that you gave me. So your first task is to enter all the sales,
Yeah, great.
okay, sterling and euro, and don't go near the bank for a while. Let
All
the
right.
bank try and match it up. And then second task then is to enter your bills. Now I showed you how to enter the bill there,
Yeah,
okay? And again, the bank will attempt to match up the bills versus the money coming out of the bank, okay?
okay.
You'll find when you click into this dashboard, let's click into the current account there. In this waiting room area, it'll have attempted to match up some of this money coming out with bills you've entered in. You might find yourself entering a bill for this crowd.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
At the
yeah.
moment, nothing is happening, but you'll find after a while it'll say match. We found a bill for this amount
All
with this
right,
name,
yes.
and it'll ask you to click match. Okay.
Okay,
So I just want you to see that happen. So don't go near the bank account until you've both the sales and the purchases entered.
okay.
Okay. And then we'll have you look at that. So your good question there you asked me about what do I do if I transfer money out of this account into here or something, is it?
Yeah, he'd be changing from his euro account maybe to the, or to the sterling or vice versa.
Yeah. Okay. Great question. So you hit plus here on the left again, and this is the one you use, transfer.
Okay,
Transfers for moving money within the business, money that's already in the business. I'm going to click on it here.
okay.
So you're moving money, in this case, we'll say, might be out of cash he had himself into, I get rid of a couple of those accounts there now, into the euro account he has. Say he put in 10,000. Okay, that's if there's cash there. Okay. But say it's more likely to be between the two bank accounts. So it's coming out of his current account
Okay.
and into the foreign exchange. So it's going from sterling into euro at that rate. But it might be a different rate that you actually put in. This adjusts every day for what it is
Oh,
at the
does
moment.
it? Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah. So if he's got money going back and over between those accounts, it's transfer one you use. And so it takes it out of one, puts it into the other, matches them up immediately. The one that you might have thought it was deposit, bank deposit. So he's taking money out of one and he's depositing it to the other, but it's asking you who it's from, and you find yourself getting confused very quick. I don't see his name there for a start. Okay, we're taking it out of the current account. All right, and then it's asking us questions down here. Who do we get it from? Where is it going? And you see all the detail on here now.
Yeah.
It's even asking you about VAT. All right.
Okay.
So you don't want to go there. You only use bank deposit if it's money coming in from the outside, such as a loan from a bank, a loan from himself, a VAT refund, that type of thing. Okay. Otherwise, it's transfer.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Now, if the online banking picks up on it, it'll work out the transfer itself. If it sees money going out of one account into the
Oh,
other.
I see.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Because
So
I think, yeah. So obviously, I'd say I won't have to do anything, all right, because it is, you can see one coming out, you can see it
you
happening
can,
all
yeah.
right in the bank statement. Oh, brilliant.
I'm going to
Just a wee,
save.
okay.
I'm going to
Sorry.
save this report here for you. Let me just have a look at it. Last financial, let me see. One here, I think suits you. Last financial year to date, yeah. So that's from the accounting year you're doing, 1st of November 19,
Yeah.
up to today. So
Yeah.
it's over a year actually, okay?
Mm.
And the reason I'm going to do that, just save this now. So I make a couple little changes without pence. It's just easier in the eye. It's fine. The report. Where's that gone now? Sorry, oh, that's only 19. Right. Last financial year to date. I don't know why that changed. So that should be 20 there. 1st of November 19. Last financial year to date. Okay, that's today, but it's a year out of date for some reason.
Okay.
See that? No,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
haven't seen that before. Yeah, so I'm going to save that into your group. Let's report to a group. I have Mary added here. Make president, Mary. Okay. Okay, so in reports here, just for yourself, I started off with this. Oh yeah, there's Mary. I mustn't have added it right the first time. You just add this one in as well. So in reports on a custom, there's items I think that'll be useful to you, Mary. I'll put the balance sheet there in a second. So as you're entering those sales and the purchases, if you just click on this, you'll see this building up. Okay, so there's your sales. There's some purchases he's already bought. He put them in now, not me.
Okay.
Red letter and that. Now, a couple of things here. I see them going in here as expenses. Expenses is taking money out of the bank account and say, okay, that money is, it doesn't say what it is actually here. It says the purchase. This other one, CVE London. It says what bank account is coming out. It's just really classifying what the money coming out of the account was for.
Okay.
So with each of them, it's the way you need to go is entering the bill, and then the money coming out of the bank will match to it. Okay.
Okay.
Then you've got a bill in, and then you've money matching up to it. So enter sales first, ignore the bank. Enter the bills next, ignore the bank, and then let the program attempt to match up the money that's gone through the bank account money that's gone through it with these bills. If it doesn't do it, the next thing you'll be doing is you'll be matching them up, because there might be discounts here and there, and maybe a few bills are paid in a lump, but that's part of bookkeeping, right?
Yeah.
So the next areas you'll be moving on to is receive. You'll be clicking on receiving payments. I'll click on McCann for a second. This is your phase 3 now.
I think it's up for, yeah, there, yeah.
Yeah, he's there. So there's McCann. I've got here. I'm saying here it's saying here there's no money in, but what there is previously we've lodged 11453.
Okay.
And we haven't said what it paid. So it's just taking a guess here itself. So it's put it again. Actually, does that work out exactly? You just see. Oh, no, 678 3952. Oh, it does, yeah.
Great.
Okay. So that 11453, this is a good example now. It's worked out. It was paying these invoices here. See that? It's exactly paid, all of them. And there's nothing left over. Okay.
Great. Yeah.
So.
And it automatically picks the invoice that it thinks it'll, do you know what I mean? You don't.
That's what it's done. It's automatically picked it, yeah.
Great.
I didn't see that earlier now when I looked at it, but it's worked it out now. What I did, I said, put the McCann money into debtors.
Oh,
I didn't allocate it against particular invoices. So if we were to send a statement to McCann at the moment, it would show he's paid 11453.
Oh, I see.
But we've sent him all these invoices, and we haven't said which ones are paid and not. And so when I'm gonna actually save this now. So on your accounts, I'll just go, you want about where is he getting that debtors figure earlier? I'll just pick on this thing here. There's McCann. He only owes us 2196 now. And if I click into it, it's just those 2 bills.
Oh, I see. Okay.
The rest of them are paid and they're out of the way. The clutter is gone, so.
Yeah. That's a very good system.
Oh, it's super, yeah. So let me just put balance sheet in here for you as well, because you're understanding what you're doing. If you kind of understand what you're at, you'll be happier with it. Let's save that into the Mary group. Now, there's any amount of reports there, but you'll bamboozle yourself if you go looking through them all on a constant basis. So the ones either star the ones that are your favorites, but you'll have to keep updating the dates on these. But here, there's 3 reports waiting for you. Now, all as of this financial year to date, yeah. But as you enter your sales and your bills and things are happening, they'll start to come together. You'll actually, well, I find it quite enjoyable seeing it building up. And at
Yeah.
the end of the day, whatever you expect to see, it needs to reflect that. So if last year wasn't a great year, you don't expect the accounts to show a great year, you know? So it should be like that. But if last year was a great year, you expect the accounts to show it was a great year. So as you're putting the stuff in, it's not what's there, it's what's not there might be the issue, you know?
Okay.
So I was looking at someone's accounts this week on something like this, and geez, the profits were mega. And then I realized they hadn't any wages in there at all.
Okay.
They're all in the wrong place. So when you put the wages in, they actually lost money. So, so like everything balanced, but it's what's not there. So obviously they're paying all the staff and that. So, so just
And
keep your eye on that.
drawings then, how do you deal with drawings?
And he's a company, so there's no such thing as drawings. It's wages.
Okay. So it's
Now,
wages to, is that what you should classify it as, wages kind of to himself? Is that kind of what?
yeah, director's fees. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
Now talk with that UK accountant about director's fees. I'm just going to see is it in this chart of accounts already. Directors is not showing up anyway. I don't see what's there for payroll. Payroll expenses are there. Is it just him? Is it?
Just him. Yeah.
Okay. Just see the wage. I just see he might put something in here on the setup. You see. Yeah. No. Payroll expenses. I'll actually change. We've a kind of a system here. Payroll. Yeah. Call things what they are. You know. So. Let's call it Anthony. Is he Blowick as well?
Yeah.
Blowick. Salary. So does he pay himself in dribs and drabs, or does he pay himself set amount?
Dribs and drabs. You know, it's just kind of cumulative over the year. Yeah, it could be anything. No, he doesn't. It's never a set amount.
Okay. The way it works here, and we copied the English system. Now, check this over there. Is you're meant to tell the taxman what you paid yourself before you pay yourself. Okay. So I'll pretend you paid himself $3,000, and you tell the taxman I paid myself $3,000, and the taxman says, "Give me 1,000 tax."
Okay.
2 weeks later. That's what goes on here now. You may have come across this. It's called PAYE modernization.
Okay.
We copied the UK system, so I don't know if it's still the same over there, but if you're paying yourself in bits and pieces on top of that, okay, so say he buys a shirt or he buys boxes of chocolates and things like this, personal items, you know, out of the company account. That's the same as paying yourself wages because they've got nothing to do with the business.
Okay.
And if you're not and it's not possible to declare them straight away. So what I always recommend is pay himself enough every month, and if he's buying stuff for himself, have his own separate bank account for that.
Okay.
Because the UK accountant, the last thing he'll want to see is wages of different amounts being taken when he needed it, and it not being declared, because the fines here are $4,000 every time they catch that. I don't know what they are in the UK.
Really?
Yeah, so definitely counts. Like he should be kind of used to it if he's over there a bit, but just in case he's not, just get on top of that, you know. So,
God, I will, yeah.
so ask him who's submitting the wages. Definitely, we copied the UK system.
Okay.
And it's a real pain in the neck. All right, so I just need to watch that one.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
and I'll tell you then one other thing. You know, credit card. If he uses a credit card, we'll say to pay some bills, or if he's traveling or whatever, going back and over to England, he'd be using his credit card.
Is it a company credit card, Mary, or his own?
It's his own.
Okay, if it's his own, it's effectively a loan from him to the company. Now let me just see how I'll do that. I'm just going to go into this chart of accounts again because I had to look at it. So he doesn't. I'm going to get rid of some clutter for you here on the screen, right? Yeah. There's some accounts here he's not going to be using.
Mm.
So I'm going to get rid of this client trust account thing, because he's not a solicitor. Okay. And there isn't a savings account, as far as I can understand.
No.
Now, we can always bring these back. I'm just making them inactive.
Okay.
If for some reason he opens a savings account, you just click here, include inactive. Okay, let me just get rid of those out of the way. And the ones I got rid of there, like client trust accounts, just click here and it's active again. Okay, so I'm not deleting anything on them. So the credit card is the same. Employee cash advances, get rid of that. We have the employees. Yeah, you want this loans thing. So I'm going to set up an account called Director's Loan. Let me just see on, I just want to check one thing. It's credit card, okay. So no company credit. I suppose the logical thing is, if he's time, just get a company credit card, right? In the meantime, just get down to that credit card. I'm going to change the name on it. The Director's credit card. So in other words, he's paying stuff for the company, right? And that bill we looked at a while ago, that 20 quid, remember him?
Yeah.
Diesel. Let's just say he paid for that with his credit card.
Mm.
So what you'll be doing is, now this is phase 4 for you, is paying off bills. So, sorry, I'll just go back slightly. So if ever you lost, hit dashboard, but up here in the plus, the areas you'll be using will be invoice and bill.
Okay.
For the first two things. Then that receive payment, where it'll be matching things up. Okay, and then you can't pay a bill unless the bill is in there, right? So pay bills.
Okay.
Okay, so enter the, that's why I'm having you doing this, sales invoices and bills first. So on pay bills, I'm just bringing up the sterling ones. There's the Casey Londis one, right? So all I did was click on pay bills.
Okay.
And it's brought up a bill that's outstanding as of today. So you see now. Okay, so what account paid it? You see up here?
Yeah.
I'm going to click on that. Director's credit card. And you would just tick that.
Okay.
Okay. Do you think it was his credit card to pay that?
No, actually, that was cash now. That was,
okay.
You know, so.
Well, okay, well, that's, I'm going to I'll click here, cash on hand then, right? For a second. I'll show you what I'll do with that in a second. So again, I'm going to tick it here. The payment of €20 is against this Londis bill. Okay, what's your date? So it's the 18th of September. I'll go back to the 18th of September. He didn't pay cash 2 months later for 20 quid of diesel.
Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah.
Okay, and okay, save and close. So in your reports and profit and loss, I'm just going to pick out that diesel one again. Here it is, that diesel bill. Casey Londis, nothing's changed there, but still the same amount. Right. See here's marked off as paid. Top right.
Top right. Wait, let's see now. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And they say paid. How do we pay that? Beneath it, it leads us to it. You said there was €20 applied on this payment, and it came from the cash account. Okay. Now I might just change the name of that cash account. And the account in England will have to pick up on this to director's cash.
Okay.
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 And that's the same as him lending money to the company to
Yeah.
pay for diesel to help them make money. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm just making it a bit more descriptive, the way you know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, once you've all the bills entered and you know which ones were paid by credit card or cash. Now, if that was paid by credit card, you just change that pay bills thing to credit card. So here it is, pay bills. I'm going to click here. Say he said, you know what? He paid that by credit card. And you just go here,
Oh, right.
scroll down. Where was credit card?
Oh, that's very handy. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, at least. See what the credit card is now. Director's cash. Oh yeah, director's credit card. There it is. Yeah. Okay, and that will create a creditor for the credit card, and then when you have to send a check or a transfer to pay the credit card, that's the transfer like we just showed you earlier.
Okay.
Within itself, out of the current account into the credit card.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to revert.
Sorry. So just in relation to all the bills, so I'll enter all the, we'll say sales, and then we'll say do all the bills. So the bills, we'll say that are on the bank statement, you reckon they'll match?
A lot of them will match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
They won't all, because there might be foreign exchange, or he might have paid a slightly different amount to what was on the bill. Like it could be a penny, it could be 40 quid knocked off.
Okay.
Or you might have entered it wrong. You know, there'll be things to be sorted out, but it'll match a good few, yeah.
And just when I go into that menu there and say pay bill, it'll bring me up all the bills that aren't paid. So they're the ones I'll have to match. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's great actually. Now, as I said, I'll start with that. As you said, sales invoice is all the payments. What else was I to do? Credit card, all of those kind of stuff, really, the basics to get it all into the system first. And
all the sales in first, all the bills in next.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter that we're kind of working in the new, we'll say the year, we'll say 2021, we'll say, right, we haven't, I will say, okay, the balances aren't brought in from last year. That doesn't matter. I won't worry about any of that. Yes.
No, don't worry about any of that.
Okay. No. And it doesn't matter that we're now in a new accountancy year from the 1st of February.
No, it doesn't. Those Excels and all those 2019 year, he hasn't finalized those accounts yet, has he?
I think he was due to finalize them. Yeah, he was to finalize them, we'll say the 1920. No, what am I saying? 1819. Yeah, 1819. I think he was due to have it finished.
So that's November 19. So
exactly.
Yeah. So you're doing from. Sorry, that's October 19. I'm looking at his year end here on the screen.
I'll be doing from November 19 to, we'll say, October 20.
Yeah, that's fine. Just go from there.
Okay.
And if his accountant has access to this QuickBooks, which he may already have,
yeah,
he can add in the closing balances of his 31 October 19.
Oh, I see. Okay.
When he's done himself. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Great. Well, what I might do is, Kevin, I might get started with all of that.
Okay.
And I'm sure I'll have questions. I'm sure something will
It will, yeah.
Right. As you say, bank charges will automatically get paid themselves. Like what I'm saying is they'll automatically be recorded because they're on the bank.
They will. Eventually, I'll show you once you have the bills and the sales in, and you get more of a feel for it. I'll show you about creating rules on the bank statement then. So when it sees AIB bank charges, it'll just shove them all into bank charges.
Okay.
They'll go back through the last, 14 months and do all that. So, and then next time it sees it in the future, it'll put it into, it's like having a machine in SuperValue stacking shelves properly, as opposed to a new person coming in and saying, well, I'll put this here because it fits, I'll put it there as it fits,
Yeah.
Just like that. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, as I just said, that's a great start now to get moving on it. And it looks like
it is, yeah.
Yeah. And as I said, I'll get the scanner going and try all of that stuff. And
yeah,
I'll let you know how I get on in a week or so.
Yeah, I'll touch base with you about, if I don't hear from you, I'll touch base with you in a week. And I'll drop you an email, and I might just leave me connected on that if you like. I'll keep an eye on it. Okay. And I'll click in the meantime. If there's anything going wildly wrong, hopefully I'll catch it. But I doubt it will. So have a go at it. But you'll learn more from the odd mistake than you will from going slow and afraid to try stuff. So
I know that, yeah.
have a
Yes.
crack at it anyway, and
I will indeed.
yeah, and have a look at that profit and loss every now and again, because if that's making sense to your understanding, you'll know yourself you're on the right track,
Okay, great. Well, Kevin, thank you very much for that. That was very good now, I have to say. And
Yeah, that's great. And glad to see you got something out of it.
oh,
And
yeah,
so I've recorded this. I'll download it in a minute,
great,
and I'll put it on YouTube privately, and I'll email it to you, and you can refer back to it,
great.
like after you kind of gather your senses.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a
Yeah.
lot coming at you there. All
Oh,
right,
well, still, it's all good. Yeah, it's
it's
great to
all
get
good. Yeah,
chatting to you.
it'll be,
Yeah,
it'll be great. So,
great. Okay,
all right,
Kevin,
I'll leave you
thanks.
to it. So, Mary.
Yeah, thanks a million. Okay, talk to you. Bye. 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 Bye.
Okay, see you soon, dear.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.